Alrighty then, we are in game number 1 from the point of view of Red Rush. They're no longer a part of Red Group, so they're actually just Rush. But at this point they were called Red Rush, as you can see by their names over here. Red. So we have a very typical lineup on this map for both teams, and yes, they are different, but they are both very, very typical lineups. The AMX 5100, AMX 1390 plus 2 T69s is very, very, very standard, with the T71 as the floating scout, shall I say. As you can see, he is the one who pokes into the middle to make sure there's no rushes there, and that is what they have done here as well. The T1 is being left back in the base. That is a tripwire scout to make sure that the base doesn't get captured. He also is able to reset the cap. Then you've got the rest of the team following the west into the hills. This is an incredibly common tactic. It allows them to put all their forces together, and it allows them to do a lot this way. Now on sorry, we're watching from Unity's point of view. I just realized that we're actually watching from Unity's point of view. Let me just fix all that right now. We are watching from Unity's point of view. This is, there we go. All right. We are watching from Unity's point of view, not Red. I'm confused because both of them were part of Red. I can see Crab one on the other side. I saw Eclipse's name. I know Eclipse is the artillery player. And yeah, in Labao is their T69 player. I apologize there. This is Unity watching from the point of view of. I really do apologize. I should have looked at the names of the players. There's a bit of skirmishing going on here, but quickly I'll introduce the players. This would have actually solved the issue of me thinking the names were wrong. But we have Bolkin, Antelich, Falcon, Cap, Shy, Max, and Dead Doctor for Unity. Now, if I had said these names at the start, I would have known for sure that this was Unity and not Rush. On the other side, we have the usual Power Slide, Executor, Inspirer, Lebauer, Killeroy, Eclipse, and Lux. All very, very good players on both sides, so we're watching out for each of their individual performances. Especially note Lebauer on the T69, he's very, very solid on that. Eclipse also on the Bison, notably the best artillery player in the world, very arguably. Antelich taking severe punishment here, but he's able thus far to get unscathed. Back to the tanks though, the T69's dual pick is very common. The ability to take that extra bit of damage and produce a little bit more damage in a shorter space of time is often favoured by many teams. But on the reverse, we have two AMX 1390s, and because this map is actually reasonably flat, Abbey doesn't really have that many ups and downs in it, that the 90 is not so bad. It does higher damage over a longer period of time, still burst, but not as burst as T69. You have the AMX 90s who have less HP, are easier to hurt, bit faster though, and they have more damage per clip, so they're actually really good for that reason. The VK 2801 is not very much used these days, as it's tier 6. And in tier 6 it's got high damage but against lightly armored targets. However, T69s aren't that lightly armored. If you're shooting a T69 from the front with the AMX, with the VK2801, you're not really going to go through. So I feel that the lineup right here is going in favor of Unity. Unity's got a much better lineup for their counterparts. However, that doesn't mean anything because the listings are very close and they can be used to their advantages. No scouts here though for Red Rush on the red team. There is absolutely no scouts at all apart from the VK. There's no tier 1s is what I mean. So they have much less vision, but they have dual artillery in exchange. So we'll see how that works out for them. Shy Eloise is going forward trying to find something out in the enemy territory, but so far not finding anything. Here we go. Action. Waiting for it. Actually, Unity and Rush, they both respect each other so much that they don't rush. They take their time. Every play is deliberate. They do not want to lose the battle or lose any HP unnecessarily. So you'll find this a lot. you'll find it that they sit back, they poke the lines, and that's about it. They won't be rushing forward. They won't be taking any unnecessary risk. And here we go, artillery shots going at the front of Falcon, Bumpkin, and Cap. But they are doing just fine, not being able to successfully connect any shots to any of Unity so far. But the Bisons don't really have a limited ammo. They can keep firing and not really worry about it. So with 2 Bisons just constantly hammering their positions, they're hoping for a lucky hit. Back to the tanks. The T-71 is not one of my favorite tanks. I don't really respect it. 7 tier points. It's worse than the T-69 in every single way. It's only good as a reasonably fast scout, but the T-50 is actually better. The T-50-2 is more maneuverable and faster, so I don't understand why people use it. The gun is okay, but it's just not very good. Although right now it's putting a lot of damage on the AMX 1390, and I guess that's why right now Headscoot is caught completely out of position and totally annihilated by Shy, Bumpkin, Falcon, and Cap. However, Power Slide with his amazingly powerful 5100 gun is shooting away, hitting Bumpkin and doing a huge amount of damage, receiving not as much in return. So at the moment, Unity, although in the lead tank-wise, lost a lot more HP in that little fight there. But so long as the tanks stay alive, unless Inspire and Lebauer actually take advantage of the Angelis right now, they could be looking to be in a lot of trouble here. Inspire wasn't able to get the upper hand on the Antelich and now has to fall back as the rest of the team from Unity comes in to deal with the invading force from Rush. Rush is now in a lot of trouble with Executor caught out on his own. Inspire just needs another shot against him and he will go down. The flanking maneuver from Shy, I guess, is actually to see if the 5100 is still there. If not, the gun can actually do a lot of damage into the rear. And just as I was saying, I wasn't respecting the tank, Shy shows us how it's meant to be used, but Power Slide was expecting it, comes back and takes him down. And that's what you don't want to happen. The Antelich, in the meantime, is taking a lot of damage. It's down 126 HP, which means if anything touches him, he's going down. And so the Bisons are going to be hitting him, trying to finish him off. If he goes down, that's going to be really huge. They've only lost Shy at the moment, which isn't that big of a deal compared to losing the Antelich. So the Bisons will be probably aiming at that as the top priority. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of explosions around the Antelich or even Cap and Falcon right now, they're all really low. Right now for Rush, I would think that they're trying to regroup, trying to get a big push maybe down the 1 column. If you see here, if they come down here very quickly, they'll be able to deal with it. But oh my god, what the VK2801 comes in behind, tries to kill Bulkin, but doesn't actually successfully do it. But yes, he does! Takes him down. Fantastic maneuver here from Kilroy, who's still at max health, and the Bison also goes down there from Eclipse. Or was that Power Slide, actually? I'm not entirely sure. I think it was Eclipse. But there we go. Kilroy showing his weight in gold. The VK2801 not dead yet, showing that Rush looked like a disadvantage, but it's not over yet as they managed to take down Unity, taking the first game. Now, that was actually pretty good. I thought Rush was a lot more in a lot more trouble than they were, but there you go, proves that just one maneuver, using the VK2801 correctly, buying their time, using Unity's lack of confidence, I would say. They didn't really move out of position, they just stayed there and tried to focus down the forces of Rush. They did a great job at first, but didn't take advantage of their upper hand. There had too many weak tanks at low HP that could be taken out with 1 or 2 shots. They didn't want to risk any deaths, so they waited. Last thing they should have done, they should have pushed forward, finished off the last forces of Rush, and then when the VK turned up, they would have only had to worry about the AMX and the 5100 and the VK, and they could have dealt with it that way. But in the meantime, we're going to look to see if there's any lineup changes from these two teams as we go into game number 2 of